Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the game according to me. This is the sports podcast from your boy AJTRIP, where we go in depth. Well, not necessarily in depth, but we do talk about the pro game and the college game of the football. Yeah. So as always, we start with college football first. We'll talk about um, what happened in week 3, and then look ahead to week 4. We'll do the same thing later on in the pro game, which we talk about week 2 and then look ahead to week 3. But as always, we do start with the college football game. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's look back at what happened this past week. We go to Friday. On the 12th, Indiana beat Indiana State 73 to nothing. Saturday's action, Alabama beat Wisconsin 38 to 14. Georgia Tech upset Clemson 24-21. 55-yard field goal from the kicker beats Clemson at the buzzer. Georgia Tech upsets Clemson. Clemson not ranked this week. Oklahoma destroyed Temple 42-3. Oregon beat Northwestern 34 to 14. Michigan beat Central Michigan 63 to 3. First game that I'm gonna call Shamar Moore. Sharon Moore was not the coach of. He was serving his suspension. Um, Auburn, excuse me, yeah, that is Auburn. Auburn beat South Alabama 31 to 15. Missouri beat Louisiana 52 to 10. USC took out Purdue after a lengthy lightning delay 33 to 17. Penn State beat Villanova 52 to 6. Georgia beat Tennessee 44-41 in overtime. As a Tennessee kicker could not miss the kick in regulation, they went to overtime. Tennessee kicked it, a field goal. Georgia scored a touchdown. That was it for them. Very, very well played game by both teams. Texas Tech beat Oregon State 45 to 14. Iowa State beat Arkansas State 24 to 16. Iowa State still stayed undefeated. Texas beat UTEP 27 to 10. Although Bryce Manning did not look good, starting to get boos from the Texas crowd, which is a kind of an interesting theory, but okay. Miami beat South Florida 49 to 12. Ohio State beat Ohio 37 to 9. Ole Miss took out Arkansas 41 to 45. Illinois, keeping it continued, beat Western Michigan University 38 to nothing. The game of the day, just heartbreaking fashion. Texas A&M beat Notre Dame 41 to 40. That damn Tyler Buckner, just ruined it. Ruined the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He dropped the snap, and then when he was doing the fire drill, he had a guy. If he would have put it accurately, he would have he get a chance. The guy could have caught it for a 2-point conversion. Instead, he threw it out of bounds, and it's just he's just he was at Notre Dame several years ago, and then he transferred to Alabama. And for some reason, Alabama thought he could be their quarterback. He's not a quarterback. And now they got him holding, and he can't even be a holder. Tyler Buckner just ruining the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, as he always has done. LSU beat Florida 20 to 10. DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions for Florida. Amazing. And then after the game, Brian Kelly was asked. He went off on a reporter because reporters asked him questions. Vanderbilt beat South Carolina 31 to 7. Utah defeated Wyoming 31 to 6. That was all of week 3's action. Looking ahead to week 4, we've got a good one with Texas Tech and Utah. That's going to be a good one. 2 better ranked teams. Utah is ranked 16th, Texas Tech ranked 17th. So, according to the rankings, this should be a very competitive game. Tennessee is hosting University of Alabama Birmingham. You've got Oregon and Oregon State. This is one of the reasons why all of the all of the realignment has screwed it up because Oregon State should be the last game of the year. It should be. The Civil War should be the last game of the year. Now we're playing this in week 4, and I think we may have one. I don't know if we have one later, but I'm almost certain Washington is taking on Washington State, the Apple Cup, same week. Let me make sure. It's not on the games I have. Yeah, September 20th, Washington will take on Washington State. Yeah, so the Apple Cup, that should be the last game of the season, but because Oregon and Washington are in the Big Ten, that's not going to happen, and that's garbage. Washington and Washington State, Oregon State should be, the last game of the year, no matter what division, what conference they're in. Same thing for Kansas and Kansas State and Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Bedlam, they're not even doing Bedlam anymore. It's weird. It really is. I really wish there was a commissioner, and I would move all of this shit back. If there was a commissioner of a thing, I would move all of these, things back to where they should be. Some locality reminders, and it's just stupid. Florida State is hosting Kent State. Auburn, Oklahoma is very nice. Oklahoma ranked 11th. Auburn ranked 22. Right now, John Mateer, the quarterback of Oklahoma, I just saw this morning on television. He's like the leader for the Heisman Trophy candidacy. So let's see if Oklahoma can keep it continue. Ole Miss taking on Tulane, Michigan, and Nebraska. Purdue and Notre Dame. Notre Dame has to start back up. They're down 0-2. Right, they're down 0-2. So with heartbreaking loss, last week. Last year, after they lost to Northwestern, No, not Northwestern. They lost to Northern Illinois. They went to Purdue, and they played on Purdue. I think they had 59 points, something like that. We should see that. Hopefully, we will see that the same thing this year. Like, come back with a vengeance. And start your run again. You're not out of it, although it's very slim. The analytics said they had 8%. So, but again, I think just like last year, the SEC and the Big Ten are going to knock each other out. And when some years maybe some of these teams would have only one loss or no losses at all, they might have those 2 and 3 losses, and then you're gonna see the thing you gotta worry about is that both Miami and Texas A&M beating Notre Dame would have a rifle spot at that 12th seed if they were to lose games going down as well. So, but you can only do what you can do. That's this first game beating Purdue. Georgia Tech needs to keep it continuing against Temple. Missouri taking on South Carolina. Illinois is at Indiana. This is a big one. This is a night game. NBC is hosting this game, and they need to do what they need to do. Bring the battle of the Floridas. Florida versus Miami. Rivalry game here, setting up. Georgia State is at Vanderbilt. Southeast Louisiana is at LSU. Again, playing a tomato can. Sam Houston is at Texas, and Michigan is going to USC. So there you have it. Those are some of the games in the top 25 this week. And that's what we talked about. We got Washington State and Washington. What I actually may do, and I was thinking about doing this, and I think I may do this. I think I also may, when I go and do these games, I might go and look at the games that are also not in the top 25 that are intriguing as well. So may do that, but that's it for the college football. And now let's go ahead and let's head over to the National Football League as we get ready for their game with an interesting game tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football. Alright, so now let's go ahead and look back at week 2 of the National Football League. You got the Green Bay Packers last Thursday beating the Commanders 27-16. In that game, Jane Daniels came out away with a knee injury. He is don't know if he's gonna play or not. Marcus Mariota is doing the press conference today because the starting quarterback has to do the press conference on Wednesdays. If you're playing on Sunday, so do like that. Although last year, um, has been noted that this happened during the Bears week. When the Bears and Commanders were going to play, Marcus Mariota took he took the press conference duties on Wednesday, but then on Friday it was determined that Jay Daniels could play, so he did a press conference. So you have to find out on Friday if Jaden Daniels, if he does a press conference. If he does, then he'll more than likely play this week. If not, then he may be down. And the Packers defense looked very well against that Commanders offense. Now moving here to Sunday's action, a very interesting game between the Giants and the Cowboys. A lot more interesting than you thought it was going to be. The most passing yards that Russell Wilson has had in a long time. That's he played up, but he made one mistake in overtime where he just threw it up for grabs and it was picked off by the Cowboys, and the Cowboys drove down the field and with time left and kicked a field goal by Brandon Aubrey, the best kicker in the league, and he won it for the Cowboys 40-37 in overtime. The Seahawks beat the Steelers 31-17. Steelers defense doesn't look like to be in any shape at all. Not getting too much of a pass rush, cannot stop the run. Caleb Johnson, the rookie running back for the Steelers, had a boneheading mistake of letting the ball bounce into the end zone on the kickoff. I mean, just a live ball. It was recovered by the Seahawks. They scored a touchdown. The Rams beat the Titans 33-19. Cam Ward got his first touchdown pass of his young career, and the Rams looked to take it to the Titans in that game. The Bills beat the Jets 30-10 in that game. Josh Allen had a hurt nose. One of the Jets players went into the face mask, and her nose. He was out for 2 plays, but it was no different. They relied on James Cook in that game to be victory. Josh Allen tomorrow night will wear a visor to protect him from any more nose injuries or anything like that. But the Bills Justin Fields in that game left with a concussion. He will more than likely not play this week. The Patriots beat the Dolphins 33-27. 0-2 start for the Dolphins. Patriots did a big thing. The biggest thing to come from that game is that Mike Vrabel could run with the kick returner, Antonio Gibson, because he was running almost side by side with him down the sideline as Antonio Gibson returned the kickoff for a touchdown in that game. The Bengals beat the Jaguars 31-27. Another big injury. Joe Burrow had a toe injury, turf toe. He's going to be out for 3 months. If he would come back, he would come back, with like 3 weeks left in the season. And who knows if the Bengals, if Jake Browning can keep the Bengals, head above water, there's a possibility he can come back and make some damage and get the Bengals into the thing. We'll have to wait and see about that, though. The 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. Mac Jones had a terrific day. Again, everybody goes to Shanahan. All these offensive geniuses, Shanahan and McVay and Kevin O'Connell, they turned out to be like tremendous quarterbacks just by going and being with them. So it's insane. Ravens mollywopped the Browns 41-17. Speaking of mollywopping, the Lions did that to my Bears 52-21, showing why Ben Johnson shouldn't have left Detroit, at least for the Lions' sake. So that was that. The Colts beat the Broncos 29-28. Went for a 60-yard field goal that was no good. However, Broncos were flagged for leaping, which 15-yard penalty game could not end on a defensive penalty, which gave the coach an untimed down to kick another field goal, which the rookie kicker didn't make, and they came away with the victory 29-28. The Colts have not punted in 2 games so far this early season. Amazing. And Daniel Jones is looking like how a guy taken where he was taken in 2017, like in the top 15 should be looking. Cardinals beat the Panthers 27-22. Eagles beat the Chiefs 20-17. In this game, the most thing to come from this game is the fact that the tush push. There's been some more controversy around that, and I think this game will be all season they tried to get rid of it. It was not likely, but I think this is going to be the game that gets rid of the tush push for good. I think in the all season they're going to come back to do it, and then I think you will see 31 of the 30 teams say we don't want the tush push as a thing anymore. And in fact, what I think they should do is I think they should just get rid of the quarterback sneak altogether. Just get rid of the quarterback sneak altogether, because I think one, it does hurt. I think a couple years ago when Patrick Mahomes had in his second season starting, his 3rd season overall, he injured that knee, in a quarterback sneak. So I think the quarterback sneak should probably be outlawed altogether, not just a tush, but entire quarterback sneak. Where am I at? Okay, yeah, the Falcons beat the Vikings. Another quarterback injury. JJ McCarthy has an high ankle sprain, out 2 to 4 weeks. For that they'll be hanging with Carson Wentz and see what that happens. But and then the Falcons they're looking to run the ball now with Bijan Robinson, not B.J. Robinson. Bijan Robinson. Monday Night Football had 2 games this week. First game was the Buccaneers and the Texans. Buccaneers drove down the field, scored a touchdown, was able to take the lead late. Buccaneers 2-0. It's 20-19 over the Texans. Texas 0-2. And the second one, the Chargers beat the Raiders 20-19. Justin Herbert looking really, really good. They're doing a lot more passing this year with Justin Herbert than they are running the ball. And I think Jim Harbaugh Jim Harbaugh is understanding that he's got a guy. So let the guy be that guy. Like that Quentin Johnson in his second year stepping up, becoming the #1 target. Love that for them. And it was a good day. 29. I believe it was Pete Carroll's birthday. Bad birthday for Pete Carroll, losing to the Chargers. But now we look ahead to week 3. Tomorrow night, Dolphins at the Bills. This unless something goes wrong, this should be another destroying game for the Bills. They should take it to the Dolphins. And like last year, when it was the opposite around, when it was the Bills at the Dolphins, the Bills gave them no mercy. I think the same thing should be here. And if the Bills do put it on the Dolphins like we think they should, we could actually see Mike McDonald. Is his name Mike McDonald? Yeah, Mike. Yeah, he could, or Mike McDaniel, whatever. He could, be the first coach to be fired, and this year. He tried that Friday, so we'll have to see how that goes. On to Sunday's action. Bengals, again, without Joe Burrow. Jake Browning will be the quarterback. Will go against the Vikings, who will be without JJ McCarthy. Carson Wentz will be the backup. That'll be an interesting game to see how those two teams go without their starting quarterbacks. Could be a low-scoring game. Texans are at the Jaguars. Both teams are 0-2. Looking to get out the cellar. And speaking of that, I think the Jaguars are 0-2. Hold on, let me check. I'm almost certain. No, actually, I am wrong. Texans are 0-2, but this is still, this is a big game for both teams. This is for the Texans. You don't want to go to 0-3. No, you definitely don't want to go to 0-3 when it comes to that. Then we have the Colts at the Titans. Titans are 0-2. They're the 0-2 team I was thinking about. The Colts are 2-0. The way you've been playing Indianapolis, there should be one where you just beat the Titans and you should go to 3-0. Take a commanding lead in that division. The Raiders and Commanders, again, we talked about it earlier. Jaden Daniels has a knee injury. We'll find out probably Friday if he's playing or not. The Rams with the Eagles, a rematch of the great snow game in the divisional round playoffs last year. No snow Sunday though, more than likely. We'll see if the Rams at 2-0, the Eagles at 2-0. Very early game between those two. Falcons are at the Panthers. The Steelers are at the Patriots. The Packers are at the Browns. Let's see if the Packers can continue. They can keep their stuff going on. The Jets are at the Buccaneers. Same thing about the Buccaneers. Again, no Justin Fields. So Buccaneers, they should win this game. Broncos at the Chargers. Tough test for their defense for the Chargers. We'll see what happens. And again, we'll see if the Broncos can do as well after coming off a loss like they had in Indianapolis. The Saints are at the Seahawks. Again, Saints just, they went so many years, with pushing pushing the cart down the lane or whatever the saying is. So they went so many years doing that, and now it's coming home to roost for them, and they're now rebuilding, and that's okay. They've got two quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler, who's a second-year quarterback, and then Tyler Shuck, who's a first-year guy, rookie. And so we'll see what that is. I think this year you should give the Saints a bit of grace because they're what they're doing. Because they may not have their quarterback that they want either. So you have to give them that as well. The Cowboys are at the Bears. Again, the Bears 0-2. You don't want to go down to 0-3 if you're the Chicago Bears. But the Cowboys are the better team. I just think they're going to, and both defenses have been shoddy. So this might be a high-scoring game. But I expect, as a Bears fan, I expect the Cowboys to win. The Cardinals at the 49ers. I'm guessing Mac Jones will be starting again. But last year, the Cardinals beat the 49ers. So this is not going to be one of those easy games for the 49ers. So we could see an upset here with the Cardinals. And Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs are at the Giants. They decided to put the Giants on Sunday Night Football for some reason very early. I guess just in case, they happen to win one of their games early. So we'll see like that. Chiefs 0-2. This should be a game where they make a difference. If the Chiefs lose to the Giants, I think we're gonna have a big trouble problem here, and a former Bears coach might be one of the issues of that problem. Listen, I'm not sure how much play calling and things like that Matt Nagy does for the Kansas City Chiefs, but you have to say, ever since they got rid of Eric Bieniemy, the offense of the Chiefs has not been as explosive and as dominating as it was with Eric Bieniemy. That's just a fact. And then one of the games of the week, you got the Lions at the Ravens, both 1-1. It should be a very interesting game. See if the Lions can continue with what they're doing. The same thing the Ravens, see what the Ravens can do, keep it continue. Now, for those who are diehard listeners of this podcast, and there are very few of you, you know my thoughts on Lamar Jackson. And if you don't, I would tell you this. I think Lamar Jackson is a little bit overrated. I think he has had 2 years where he has looked good, as a passer. his second year when he won the MVP, and last year when he had a tremendous year. Only, you know, those are only 2 years where he has looked good as a passer, standing in the pocket, making plays. That being said, I have to give him credit. He has started off this year looking very well as well, and I want to see him do it one more year. And after this year, I may not be able to say that, you know, that Lamar Jackson is, is overrated. He might actually be deserving of like these top 10 and top 5, you know, rankings in the quarterbacks and things like that, and being part of the 99 club on Madden. He might actually be worthy of that if he continues on playing the way he's played so far this season. If he does that this year, so kudos to Lamar Jackson. Totally fair. I wanted to see it again. In the first 2 games, he's showing it that he might be able to do it again. So there you have it. That is the look ahead to week 3 of the National Football season. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Alright, that is going to be it for this episode of the Game According to Me. We'll be back. Well, okay, hold on. We may be back next. Well, we'll definitely be back next week. I'm not sure next Wednesday because we got some other personal business to attend to. So it may not be next Wednesday. It might be next Thursday again. But we will be back next week. So make sure you are here wherever you are listening to this podcast. Make sure that you just keep checking around, and and it'll be there for you. If you like this podcast and you like what you hear and you want to help support this podcast, please make sure that you check the description boxes and look at all of the ways that you can support me, whether financially or whether it's just by sharing this podcast on all your social medias, or even just rating this podcast. Again, on wherever you're listening to it. This podcast is on a lot of platforms. So especially Spotify. If you aren't listening to this on Spotify, please rate this podcast. Absolutely, it's very much appreciated. Uh, and even if you don't, because I know it's very tough out there financially. Inflation has gone up more since November, when it said it was going to go down, but that's neither here nor there. Yes, please make sure that you can, if you want to support, just make sure that you continue to support me the non-monetarily way, and again by rating this podcast and sharing it all over your social media. So I just am so happy that you are even listening to this podcast for that, and I can't help but be thankful for that. So please be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.